All right. All right. See. Right. Top of the morning, top of the evening, top of the night. Uh-oh. Whatever time zone you are on, we are live. Right. Top of the morning, top of the evening, top of the night. Let me bring my volume down on this. Right. You see the title. You see the title. Let me get to the moment of silence for all those who have lost their lives. Okay, let's remember this. If we can look up, we can get up. If we can get up, we can go up. You see the title. We got some stuff to get off into. Well, I am right here. Let me go ahead. It's some video footage I didn't add. Wait a minute. Okay. Let me go ahead and oh my goodness. Before we even get to the music, remember we need to stay actively engaged. And here we go again. Roe v. versus Wade. We're going to get to that early in the wee hours of this morning. Also, we are going to go over, here we go again, RICO charges. We're going to get to that. So, with trap rappers, Young Thug, Ghani, Young Ghani, or whatever his name is, no disrespect intended, happening in Georgia, at least 28 other defendants. So we have a lot to get to. Saying that again, let's remember this. If we can look up, we can get up. If we can get up, we can go up. Apologies for regular viewers who be in the bushes that are on Eastern Standard Time that may be asleep right now. I should have. My intent was to start this live stream at 10 o'clock. However, I did not have all of my video footage uploaded. So apologies for that. And I still don't have everything added that I need to add, but I'll do that as the music plays. So with that being said, let's get to music and let's get started. Let's get to this music.
Yes, there are many First Amendment issues here. Georgia law, though, does allow prosecutors to charge someone both with racketeering as well as participation in a criminal street gang if those organizations are committing crimes under Georgia law, and if these folks are organized in a way that they are working together in some capacity. So prosecutors will often point to things like using gang signs, things that are meant to communicate messages to other potential gang members, recruiting other people to join a gang. It's very problematic from a First Amendment standpoint because that kind of communication, and it can be communication in words, it can be lyrics in a song, it can be on social media, it can be the clothes that they wear. That is all protected under the First Amendment. So I've not seen a successful challenge to these Georgia laws that allow that kind of evidence to be used as evidence of a crime in a criminal trial, but I do think that's going to be problematic for the state. Start out with the basics. RICO stands for Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations. It started out as a federal law that was targeting the mafia. But many states, I think most states, if not all states around the country, have adopted their own state RICO laws with the same idea. Initially, it was focused on organized crime, but the law itself only requires the state to prove that some group of people are committing a pattern of other crimes under the RICO law. And that can include simple stuff like theft or murder or drugs or prostitution. As long as you can show a pattern of 2 or more crimes committed by this group of people that are organized together, you have a potential RICO case. The penalties, mandatory minimum of 5 years in prison, up to 20 years in prison for the RICO charge alone. And then, of course, there are these other charges that are out there. I think specifically with Young Thug, he's looking at the RICO charge, a conspiracy to commit RICO charge, as well as participation in a criminal street gang. Same kind of punishment for that offense, 5 years up to 20 years. This is a very aggressive move by Fulton County prosecutors. I know that they have been trying to develop an incentive, an initiative to go after street gangs, both in the Atlanta area and beyond. But I think here they may have gone a step too far because they're charging these individuals with criminal activity, crimes under Georgia law, which really may be limited to just things they've said, either on social media or in song lyrics. And ultimately, I think that's going to be a problem. The jury is going to want to see evidence that these individuals, each one of these individuals, actually committed some sort of crime separate from just being a part of this organization. So you can be tied up with other folks. You can be a member of a gang and still not be held criminally responsible for what some other gang member may do unless you're aware that that's going on. So I think that's going to be kind of hard to prove in this case. They've got to show intent and they have to show knowledge. It's not just being a part of a group. It's got to be more. Yes, there are many First Amendment issues here. Georgia law, though, does allow prosecutors to charge someone both with racketeering as well as participation in a criminal street gang if those organizations are committing crimes under Georgia law, and if these folks are organized in a way that they are working together in some capacity. So prosecutors will often point to things like using gang signs, things that are meant to communicate messages to other potential gang members, recruiting other people to join a gang. It's very problematic from a First Amendment standpoint because that kind of communication, and it can be communication in words, it can be lyrics in a song, it can be on social media, it can be the clothes that they wear. That is all protected under the First Amendment. So I've not seen a successful challenge to these Georgia laws that allow that kind of evidence to be used as evidence of a crime in a criminal trial, but I do think that's going to be problematic for the state. Start out with the basics. RICO stands for Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations. It started out as a federal law that was targeting the mafia. But many states, I think most states, if not all states around the country, have adopted their own state RICO laws with the same idea. Initially, it was focused on organized crime, but the law itself only requires the state to prove that some group of people are committing a pattern of other crimes under the RICO law. And that can include simple stuff like theft or murder or drugs or prostitution. As long as you can show a pattern of 2 or more crimes committed by this group of people that are organized together, you have a potential RICO case. The penalties, mandatory minimum of 5 years in prison, up to 20 years.
Okay. Okay. And so this is my other video is still being uploaded to this. So I will go through this later on tonight again. Here we go again, dealing with Roe v. versus Wade, which failed to pass in the Senate today because of a Republican who called himself a moderate Democrat, Joe Manchin. Okay, so that failed. I didn't show that video yet because that still has to be added. But the other thing that I'm talking about when I say here we go again are these RICO charges against Black artists or trap rappers. Now, last year we had Robert Sylvester Kelly, okay, in New York being charged with RICO. All right. And so that's why I started with the attorney first, saying, you know, you really have to prove your cases. And so he's specifically talking about this case here involving Young Thug, Gunny is going to be at least 28 defendants in this case. And like he said, you have to prove each charge. Just because they were there or could have been a part of the group, you still have to prove each charge per each member in the group. So yesterday, because I'm on Eastern Standard Time, the rapper who goes by the name of Young Thug appeared in court. And so later on this evening, because it is 2 a.m. my time, when I come back, that video will be uploaded. And so I want to show that. And I just want to walk through. Of course, I'm going to show the Senate what they did yesterday. Because it was a bill passed to codify Roe v. versus Wade. And this is what I want to say about the grand old party. When people, I don't care, you see it in the title, I don't care what your perspective is on a woman's right to choose abortion, whatever. The grand old party, the Republican Party, have no provisions for women who get raped. They have no provisions for incest, for women who get raped by family members. There is no provision in anything that they're trying to push. Also included in there, unfortunately, you have some Looney Tunes in terms of their thinking, in terms of their behavior, in terms of their character from the grand old party, who are going to start going after condoms and birth control measures and things like that. Okay, that's too much, and they're extremely hypocritical. All right, so just letting the record show so you know exactly where I stand on that. All right, period. So switching back to RICOs again, last year, Robert Sylvester Kelly, who is now incarcerated, sitting in prison in New York, we had RICO case there. which was a total debacle. And Attorney Jennifer Bonjean definitely has been putting in a host of motions, and she's also represented him in the Illinois case. Okay. You saw him get hit with a RICO. And the way that they attempted to do that as being part of the enterprises, and in the way that prosecutors abused their office. Really, they should be cited for prosecutorial misconduct, because by law, you cannot come on and just pile on a bunch of what's considered prior bad acts. Okay. And yes, have prosecutors in the past got in trouble for overcharging defendants using prior bad acts? And yes, they have. And what they got them on was prosecutorial misconduct. Okay. So when you see the title, here we go again. And so here we go again. Commonality. When we're looking at the correlation of these RICOs, black multimillionaire artists being hit with RICO. Now, they're going to have to let the record show, and they're going to need concrete evidence, like the attorney that I played in the beginning started off saying. You have to have evidence. Just because Young Thug or any other artist have certain words in their lyrics, that's considered art. And so you cannot come in and build a case on charging somebody for rap songs, R&B songs, or whatever, because then you are violating their constitutional rights, freedom of speech. All right. Also, again, it's still uploading, so I've watched it. You know, they go with the different charges. So before I comment on those charges, I really want people to be able to see and view the video. And for each, okay, 2 RICO charges and 7 other different charges. Okay. And this is Georgia. Okay. So this, understand, RICO is being brought underneath federal law as it relates to Georgia, and Georgia have their own RICO laws. So it's going to fall underneath there. However, when they start trying or attempting to go after an artist because of lyrics, excuse me, you're talking about freedom of speech. Okay. And a really good case to refer back to is when 2 Live Crew was banned in the USA. And you go back, and his attorney is on YouTube. You go back to that video from years back, years prior, and you can hear their attorney talk about amendment rights, constitutional rights for U.S. citizens, and art. All right, and artists rights. So when they come to that section of the charges that brought against Young Thug or any of the other rappers, and they're going to have to prove they were a gang. They're going to have to prove that they were in a gang. Also, they're going back. They started in 2012, and allegedly the last act was committed in 2018 for this alleged gang of 28, roughly 28 members that allegedly Young Thug is supposed to be in and Gunny. But we will see. Again, I will repeat it. When it comes to attempting to go after artists and charge them for lyrics, you have to be very careful. That has to be proven. That has to be proven, because you're going to And this is why prosecutors need to be real careful. You can merge over into prosecutorial misconduct. When you start going after people's First Amendment rights and their constitutional rights. So they need to be careful. So when they come to saying, oh, he said this in their lyrics, he said that in their lyrics, where is the evidence that will coincide that he did such acts, or they, the group? Well, specifically Young Thug, I'll just use it because he's one of the ones that's been that he committed such acts. You're going to have to they're going to have to substantiate their claim. Now, later on this evening, when I show the video after it's finished uploading to this particular site, you will hear what happened yesterday in court. And yes, he's been denied bond. I'm going to let people hear the reason why he was denied bond. He has no prior felonies. And no, I do not agree with the judge's decision not to allow him to bond out. Okay. And you will hear why later on this evening. Again, here we go again. Roe v. versus Wade, more Black artists and artists being charged with RICOs. Okay. Here we go again. Here we go again. Prosecutors bringing charges. Okay, they believe they have a warrant, a reason to bring the charge. They have stated their claims, and we will go where the evidence leads. Okay, that's where I'm going. That's always been my stance. I don't care what people say. We will go where the untampered with, hear me good, evidence leads. So another RICO. And this will be, it's going to be interesting to see and to watch. Again, and I can refer back to a previous cases where gangs in another state were charged as a group, and gang members, alleged gang members, when the trial was had, they're free. They went free because prosecutors could not prove a single account per every gang member. And so again, they are alleging that they were in a gang. We will see. Having said that, again, apologies for still waiting for videos to upload to this site. I don't want to do a screen share on it because I don't 100% care for the audio when I screen share utilizing this particular software as a service, software as a platform, streaming service. So having said that, I will see everyone later on in the evening, my time, and all of the videos will be uploaded, and I will show them in the order of importance as it relates to the way that I want the topics to go. You all have a pleasant evening and a pleasant night, a pleasant morning, and remember to stay actively engaged. Bye-bye, everybody. I'll see you later on when all of the videos, like I said, are uploaded to this site, so I can just go ahead and push them out without going into the screen share on here, because that's the way I would prefer to do it. The audio just sounds much better when it's pre-uploaded to this site to me. So having said that, remember to stay actively engaged. Remember, we can look up, we can get up, we can get up, we can go up. And here we go again, everybody. Stay vigilant. Bye-bye.